Don, how much of a relief is that given what's happened or what's sort of gone on this week?
Oh, look, for me, I was just proud of the playing group. I mean, it's been, it was a hard-fought win, and obviously a difficult week in terms of some of the focus on the club and the playing group and so forth. But, again, the sort of togetherness of the group and their ability to commit to playing the way we wanted to play and getting it done. Wasn't probably our greatest performance, but it was it was a tough fought win, and we came here to get 4 points and we got them. So just proud of that, and proud of the fact that through the week we were able to stay together and find a way tonight.
How did you do it tonight? Because you lost the clearances 42-31. You had 7 less inside 50s, and you lost contested possession as well.
Yeah, so tonight it was more on the transition. I mean, they were winning some of the clearance ball, and certainly our CB stuff. That's a couple of weeks in a row. We need to have a look at that and tidy that up because we gave away field position from that as well. But I thought our transition tonight was better. We were a bit more deliberate with our ball use, which enabled us to set up score from transition versus from stoppage. But it's 2 weeks in a row from a stoppage viewpoint we've lost those numbers, so that's not sustainable. But we found a different way tonight.
When you say deliberate, there seemed to be a real emphasis, especially in the first half, on short kicking, maintaining possession, going backwards and sideways. And did you hear there seemed to be a bit of some booing from sections of the crowd when that was happening as well in the second quarter?
We're probably guilty a little bit of going across and not going as forward as often as we wanted. But you sort of take what the opposition presents, and they were defending fairly stoutly down the line. We tried to switch around a few times. So again, it's just our ability to adapt to the game. And tonight that game presented opportunities to shift the ball around a bit more. But when an opportunity came forward to centre, I thought we were able to attack the goals and attack the forward 50 and get some good connection, which, as I said, off transition helped us set a score up.
So, Don, is that 1-3 ratio of long kicks to short kicks deliberate, or a design, or what happened in this game?
We don't probably look, without looking at trends about the design of whether it's short or long kicking. As I said, it was probably a bit of what the game presented. We've had other games where we've been almost 1-to-1 kick-handball ratio. So, obviously, depending on how the opposition defends and depending on how we think the best way to move the ball is. And tonight, we were probably a little bit more deliberate out of the back half with our ball use than that. But there are other times we went quicker. So it's a bit of the state of the game versus any specific. We're looking for a particular ratio.
So what's the style of play that you do want to play? Because there's a fair bit of question mark about the way Adelaide plays its footy, and it seems to be dramatically changed to what we've known in 17.
Yeah.
So what's the way you want to play it?
Well, I think the way we're playing is a contested game. That and I think our contest tackle numbers tonight, we were still positive, and I think we were slightly down in the contested side of things. From a ball movement viewpoint, we're really just playing we're playing, not with one particular, like we're not going to necessarily just go all quick the whole time or all slow the whole time. It's our ability to still sort of energise the ball, but at the right time, depending upon how the defences are set up. So, sometimes you can go quick off the turnover. Other times you've got to be more deliberate. It depends where you turn the ball over and depends how you turn the ball over. So, you get a free kick and the ball has to get brought back. I mean, sides these days are too good at setting up to allow you to then immediately go into fast play. So, we're just seeing that the game, and you watch all the games, the game itself is, and every club has slightly different styles depending upon their personnel. And tonight we explored not a different style, but just we're able to use the ball slightly differently than we have in the past.
What did you think of Gibbs coming back?
Yeah, I thought he was very good. I mean, again, I was really confident coming in. He'd spent some time in the SANFL. Some of the things he worked on, he showed tonight, generated some ball. So it was a really solid return from Bros.
And Betts.
Sorry.
Yeah, Betts brought good energy, didn't he? Yeah, he was. We know that he's that live wire up forward, and his energy was good, his pressure was good. He was getting up the ground really strongly and resetting hard. So it was some really good signs from Eddie as well. So happy with his performance.
Happy with Fogarty too. Seemed to present pretty well at times.
Yeah, he does. That's why we got him in the team. We're a young guy that's got energy ahead of the ball, comes at it, competes really strongly. A couple of real big chases and pressure tackles, things like that. So, and he's going to get better for it. So it was good to get him in and good for him to have some game involvement.
Do you give him a fair run at it now, or?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what that selection. I mean, I imagine he'll stay in for next week. I mean, I don't necessarily want to bring him in and take him out. So it was good to get him in and good to give him the opportunity. He kicked a nice goal in the last quarter, which probably was the one that got us over the line.
That's bad news for Josh Jenkins, then, is it? Or?
Well, we'll just see what the mix looks like. Yep.
So what do you need to see from Josh, I suppose, in the sample?
Well, he obviously didn't get a game this weekend because we had the bye, so he'll be back to training and see what he gets out of training. And then, if he plays sample next week, it's returning to the things that we need him to do from a complete game viewpoint. He's obviously hit the scoreboard, but we're looking at other things that we need from Josh in our forward half.
You expect Atlas Keith back next week for Perth?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's the plan. We sort of wanted to deload him for a couple of weeks, and it'll be interesting to see how he comes up when we start reloading him and from a training viewpoint. But hopefully he'll come good.
So you're looking for key defensive options next week against West Coast. What do you think you've got there?
Well, we've got obviously the three who played tonight in Talia, Otten and Hartigan. And if Keith comes in the mix, we'll weigh that up. Obviously, they've got some dangerous forwards, with obviously Kennedy, which Talia's played on in the past, Darling a bit further up the ground, and Oscar Allen as well. So, we think we've got some options there.
How do you feel about Hartigan's performance tonight?
Oh, look, it's not his best performance, quite clearly. After you speak to him after the game, he knows he hasn't had a great game. So, but he's been a solid and consistent performance for a while. So, he didn't have a great night though. But that's footy. Sometimes that happens.
Did he pick up a bit of an ankle injury early in the game?
I think he just rolled a little bit, but he was fine. He got it strapped just for quarter time, I think, and then came back on.
Yeah. So is it a fairly positive week now, Don, or are there still things that you sort of break down? And
there's always going to be things to work on, but for me, we've got an opportunity by winning tonight. Obviously, we keep our spot in the 8, but we know we've got West Coast, Perth next week, which is going to be another great challenge. And we also know the comp's so even that win in advance really is where we're at. We get a chance to go over there, get together, and again, another positive week for us on the track. We'll take the positives out of what we did tonight. There's some things we'll keep working on, but there's a lot of things we take out of tonight in terms of the way we want to play, and reinforcing to our players that that's the way that's capable of winning games. And tonight, it was, as I said, at times it was an arm wrestle. At times we were probably on the defensive a little bit, but we found a way in the end, and that's what the game calls for. Sometimes you just got to find a way to win. And tonight our guys did that, which I said I was super happy with and really proud of the way they responded as a group.
Is Rolly O'Brien at the point where he might need a little bit of a rest, because he sort of got pretty comprehensively beaten by Rowan Marshall on the ruck tonight?
Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle for Rolly tonight. So, but we'll have a look at the vision and see exactly where that is. And he's obviously a young guy who's carried a pretty big load. So we'll have a look at that and see how A, he pulls up, and B, the areas of area he can work on. And then we'll discuss that at match committee.
Well, especially when you've got such an experienced campaigner like Sam Jacobs, as is, sort of guy who could come in as well. Yeah,
and Sam's been in great form, so it's a good spot to be in. We've got a guy that's played really strong footy for us at AFL level, as well as, obviously an experienced guy that we know has played good AFL footy, and is, fair to say he's sort of champing at the bit to get a start. So, that'll be a good discussion at match committee, I'm sure, this week.
Sorry, you go.
I was just going to ask about the black armbands.
Yeah.
What those?
Yeah, it's a sad day for the footy club. We lost a long-term servant of our club in Jason Lehman, who's in our community program and group. He's been at the club for 13 years, and had some wonderful relationships with some of our players and obviously our football staff. So, and he passed away this morning, which was a bit of a shock to all of us. Our thoughts are with his family, clearly at this time, and it's always sad when we lose someone who's special and close to our hearts at a footy club. So I know some of the players, who had a really strong relationship with Jason were pretty emotional when they heard the news this morning. So nice to get a win for him tonight.
How do you approach the trip to Perth, Don? You went up to Gold Coast earlier. Do you go back to your normal routine of the day before the game, or?
It'll be a fairly normal routine, but I think we've got a day off planned for the day before we travel, and we'll train over there. So I imagine there might be a couple of guys who might travel on the Friday across, which is normally what we'll do for Perth for the longer trip. We'll get some guys, some of the more senior guys might get over there early and just spend another half a day or three-quarters of a day just to settle in, go down the beach, sort of stretch and relax, and make sure the body's not too sore coming off a 3.5-hour flight. So that'd be standard. Otherwise, we'll be across there, train Saturday, and get ready to go.
This is the perfect test. I mean, reigning premier home.
Yeah, it's a great test. There's no doubt. They're a quality side. They play that ground really well, But the reality is for us to be in this comp and to push on into September, this is exactly the sort of test and challenge we've got to rise for. So, coming off tonight, obviously we take some real confidence and belief out of the win tonight. But we need to carry that into next week and come ready to play again the same way. And we had a great contest against them over here, earlier in the season. So we know we're capable. Just get ourselves to recover from today and get ourselves ready to go. Have a really solid and positive week on the track, and maybe have another pizza and a couple of beers at my joint tomorrow, and we'll see how we go.
Is that a throwaway line, or you
That's
will do
probably a
that?
throwaway line.
Just